we stand at a pivotal moment in human history, a crossroads where the choices we make will shape the future of our civilization. The rise of artificial intelligence and automation marks the dawn of what some call the Fourth Industrial Revolution, a transformation as profound as the shift from nomadic tribes to farms, or from villages to factories. But history warns us, great revolutions bring both promise and peril. Today, I want to explore how this AI-driven revolution mirrors past upheavals, the risks it poses for a systemic collapse, and the actions we must take to steer it toward a renaissance of human flourishing rather than new dark age. Let's start with history's lessons. Over 10,000 years ago, the agricultural revolution turned wandering hunters into settled farmers. It gave us cities, writing, and complex societies, but also rigid hierarchies and vulnerability to famine. 250 years ago, the Industrial Revolution unleashed steam and steel, creating wealth and a modern middle class, but also urban slums, exploitation, and environmental damage. 50 years ago, the digital revolution began with computers and networks reshaping how we work and connect. Each of these shifts disrupted economies, upended social structures, concentrated power, and introduced new fragilities. Each time, humanity adapted through resistance, reform, and reinvention, but not without struggle. Now, we face the fourth revolution, driven by AI and automation. Like the steam engine or the plow, AI is a force multiplier, transforming every sector at digital speed. Self-driving trucks threaten millions of jobs. Algorithms now diagnose diseases, draft legal contracts, and even create art. This isn't just about replacing manual labor. AI is encroaching on cognitive work once thought uniquely human. As historian Yuval Noah Harari warns, we risk creating a useless class. Not useless as people, but economically irrelevant in a system dominated by machines. This disruption is happening faster than ever, not over decades, but years. This revolution carries eerie echoes of a historical catastrophe. The Bronze Age collapse around 1177 BC. Then interconnected civilizations, such as Egypt and the Mycenaeans, fell almost simultaneously. Droughts led to famine, invasions by the mysterious sea peoples toppled weakened kingdoms, trade networks collapsed, and internal revolts finished the job. It was a perfect storm of converging crises, amplified by a globalized system too fragile to withstand multiple shocks. Sound familiar? Today, we face a perfect storm: AI-driven unemployment, extreme inequality, climate change, and fragile global systems. Climate shifts threaten food and water supplies, potentially displacing millions. Wealth concentrates among tech elites, leaving many behind. Our supply chains, financial markets, and infrastructure depend on complex digital networks vulnerable to cyber attacks or glitches. Political polarization erodes trust, making coordinated action harder. AI plays a role akin to the sea peoples, not the sole cause of upheaval, but a catalyst exploiting existing weaknesses. Just as those invaders swept through vulnerable kingdoms, AI is invading job markets, amplifying inequality and social unrest. If we don't act, these pressures could converge, triggering a collapse not of one nation, but of our interconnected global civilization. As scholar Joseph Tainter notes, our world is so entwined that a true collapse would be global, with no refuge left. But collapse is not our destiny. History shows that transformations, while painful, can lead to renewal. The Bronze Age collapse gave way to the Iron Age and the rise of classical Greece. The Industrial Revolution's turmoil birthed modern prosperity and democratic reforms. We have a choice. Let AI's disruption drag us into chaos or guide it toward abundance. The difference lies in our actions now. So, what must we do? First, we must decouple survival from employment. If AI renders many jobs obsolete, we need universal basic income or services like free healthcare and education to ensure dignity and security for all. Second, we must redirect AI to empower, not replace. Humans developing tools that enhance teachers, nurses, and communities, not eliminate them. Third, we need a new social contract, lifelong learning to adapt to change, stronger safety nets, and digital rights to protect privacy and autonomy against surveillance capitalism. Fourth, we must address inequality through progressive taxation and investments in public goods. Fifth, we must build climate resilience using AI to optimize renewable energy and adapt agriculture while preparing for migration and resource conflicts. Finally, we need global cooperation to govern AI and share its benefits, preventing a digital arms race or data colonialism. These steps require courage and collective will. Individuals must demand policies that distribute AI's benefits. Organizations must prioritize societal impact over profits. Governments must update laws and institutions for this new era. Global institutions must coordinate on AI and climate challenges. We have perhaps a decade before AI reaches human-level intelligence, potentially triggering an intelligence explosion by the 2030s. The window is narrow, but we have an advantage our Bronze Age ancestors lacked: foresight. We see the storm gathering. We know the risks. We have the tools to act. History's great revolutions were never preordained. The Industrial Revolution led to slums but also to progress because people fought for reforms, labor laws, public education, social safety nets. Today, we are both the heirs of those struggles and the architects of what comes next. The fourth revolution could bring unprecedented abundance, freeing us from scarcity to pursue creativity, community, and meaning. Or it could fracture our society into a dystopia of haves and have-nots. The choice is ours. Let's choose transformation over collapse, wisdom over hubris, cooperation over conflict. Let's write a future where AI serves humanity, not subjugates it. The fourth revolution is coming, ready or not. Let's ensure it's a renaissance, not a requiem, for our civilization.